Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Ganananta Ganapati Gom Havam He Priyananta Pripati Gom Havam He Nidinanta Nidipati Gom Havam He Vaso Mama Aham Jani Gavitamatma Jati Sarvadam Om Gandham Samarthayami Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Good morning, friends. I'm just going to chant here for a little bit. Still have a few minutes before we start. Samukasya kadantasya kapilo vijakarnakaha namorarasya vikato nirvinasya vinayakaha dhruvaketo ganajaksha bhavachandro gajananaha dvadishatani namani yatate chuniyadati vidyarambe vivahicha praveshe nirgame tata Sangame Sakate Chaiva Vigastasya Najayate Vinyabalikutaraya Shri Ganahi Pataya Namaha Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryaputti Samaprabha Abhinav Kurume Deva Sarvakayesu Sarvada Shuklam Maradadam Vishnu Sasivanam Chaturvijam Rasana Vananadayi Sarvavigna Prashantaye Namaste Sham Jayaste Sham Bhutaste Sham Purajayaha Yesha Minivarashamo Hridayasya Janardanaha Om Shanti 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 Om Brahma Murari Suratita Lingam Nirmala Pasita Shobhita Lingam Janmajatu Kavinashana Lingam Tatmanamami Sada Shiva Lingam Deva Muni Prabhavachita Lingam Kamatahana Karuna Paralingam Ravanadapa Vinashanalingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Sarva Sugandhi Sule Pitalingam Buddhi Vivara Karunalingam Sirasura Suravandita Lingam Tat Pranamami Sada Shivalingam Kanakamaha Manibhushita Lingam Manipati Veshtita Shobhita Lingam Daksha Sunyagya Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sara Shiva Lingam Kumkumakandana Lepita Lingam Panchakahara Sushobhita Lingam Samcheta Papa Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sara Shiva Lingam Devagana Chitta Sevitalingam Bhava Patireva Chalingam Dinakara Koti Prabhat Karalingam Tat Pranamami Sara Shivalingam Ashtadala Pariveshtita Lingam Sarva Sambhubhava Karunalingam Ashtadaditra Vinashana Lingam Tat Pranamami Sara Shivalingam Suraguru Suravara Pujita Lingam Suratara Pushpa Sada Chitalingam Param Paramatmaka Lingam Tat Pranamami Sara Shivalingam Tat Pranamami Sara Shivalingam. Om Gandham Samapayami Shri Shivaya Namaha Om Anoprucha Hankar Chitani Naham Nacha Shrutra Jive Nacha Gran Netre Nacha Vyoma Bhukmir Natejo Navayus Charananda Rupa Shivoham 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 Chirananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chirananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham Chirananda Rupa Shivoham Shivoham So yeah, good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Chigeko. Hi, friends. Thanks for being here. I'm just going to move this just a little bit. Yeah. So another rendition of our yoga sadhana here this morning, and I've titled our class this morning "Serpent Power." And there was this incredible book that was written actually in, well, it was written in 1918. And it was by this gentleman, Arthur Avalon, Sir John Woodruff. He was later knighted. He was a British citizen that lived in India, during the occupation, of the Brits in India. And he kind of became a yogi, not kind of, I mean, he became a yogi. And he wrote this book called The Serpent Power. And there's a serpent. So the image that you saw, maybe if you saw the image, on any of the social media stuff or whatever, that's here in the temple. It's right up here. And the serpent is representing this, cosmic power, the Kundalini power, if you will, the Shakti power, which we access to merge into a higher state of conscious awareness, if you will. And so there was this book written, and this was written in the Middle Ages. It's called the Hatha Yoga Pradipika. And it's really if you will, if there's like a Bible of yoga, of Hatha Yoga, this is it. And the reason that I bring it out is in this, it's literally, considered a scripture. They've merged, practices with the body, with what's energetic practices of Tantra Yoga. And ultimately what Tantra Yoga was origin about, I mean, it was never really toned so much around the sexual practices. While that became a component of it, it was really kind of a small component of it. It's really about energy and accessing, life force energy, pranic energy, as a mechanism to open into the deeper regions of our being. And so kind of what happened is the Hatha yogis merged into their system many of the practices of Tantra Yoga. And again, these are the chakras, the energy systems, the prana, the pranayama, all of that. And when you get into kind of reading some of this stuff in a deeper way, it's really like in this age that we're in, which is a denser, darker age, thicker, we need, if you will, these energy practices to literally just wake us up into our higher, more illuminated conscious nature. And so I'm always pivoting around this in some way, shape or form, mind you, but I just thought I'd speak to it directly today, because then we're really, 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 really going direct into these practices for the purpose of inner awakening. And we use, like refined perception, we use mantra, we use sound, and then we add energy through our pranayama practice. And when we get into our asana, portion of our class, which we'll do obviously in just minutes, I want us to really focus on the exhale and extending the exhale. So breathing deeply, certainly on the inhale, but as you exhale, really pursue this mechanism of releasing the breath completely to the very bottom of the breath, and just pausing for a moment, because in that moment, what's happening is the nervous system is, may react if the body's saying I need more oxygen, if you will. But in that moment, there's a great deal of purification that takes place internally. And so if we invite, if you will, that quality in our asana practice, if you will, to begin with, then that can kind of carry through into our pranayama, and that really has a significant way of inner purification and inner awakening. So again, thanks for joining me this morning and staying with your practice. And we're here at Shivalaya again, and this is going to be a regular Saturday thing. And we had a great retreat last weekend. I see a couple of you that are on the on the stream here this morning. Were up here last weekend, and I'm really grateful for all the work that was done and all the friendship that was shared. And we anticipate that there'll be more of that goodness, if you will. It's just so vital to dig into this at this time. So thanks again, and we'll begin. Make sure and take a sip of chai here for my chai and chat. A good batch of chai this morning. And so just, get a comfortable seated position, if you will, comfortable seat. Shawl on here. And let's just first invite a sense of grounding and a sense of presence. A sense of stillness, if you will. Then we'll invite a deep rhythmic breath of yogic breath. As a reminder, if it's new, the technique is you expand the belly to initiate the inhale, then the ribs expand and the chest lifts and expands. So full breath in. And notice the transition into the exhale. And then here's where we begin this practice of full breath out. And then notice the transition to the inhale when that's appropriate. When the body isn't under, the stress of a pulmonary circuit, the extension of the exhale in this is a little easier, So it's best to begin when things have a more supple and fluid nature to them. In my pranayama meditation class that I teach on Tuesdays, this week I talked about how energy is stimulated and released at the bottom of the exhale with the breath held out. So it's a really vital practice. And then begin to formulate, if you will, a samkalpa, intentions that flows in. And then let's bring hands to prayer here at the heart. Eyes are closed here, of course. And we'll chant Om a couple of times. I'll chant a little invocation mantra and we'll begin our practice together. Just exhale the breath completely. And then take a big inhale here. Om. And then another nice big inhale for Om. So nice inhale. Om. Hashtavinchani Shivani Chagmani Saha Yogan Bhajantu Me Yogan Prapadye Ksheman Chak Ksheman Prapadye Yogan Chanamo Ahora Dravyam Astu. And then another nice inhale for Om. Om. The mantra is translated as may we become accomplished in the practices of yoga, and may we be happy. And let this body, which is made of the 28 planets, and that means the 28 tattvas or principles of the universe, be fully engaged in the practices of yoga. And through that engagement, may we be protected. And by being protected, may we remain engaged in yoga, the union of the soul with the oversoul. Hari Om Tat Sat. All right, so let's just gently open our eyes here and come off of your seated position. So if you have any, like I have a cushion, unravel here, and interlace the finger, extend the hands and arms out, and then inhale, float the hands and arms up. Just reach here. Yeah, and then take a nice big inhale, reach a little taller, and then exhale, lower the hands and arms, round the low back, rock back on the sacrum here, a little stretch the back body, and then inhale, sweep hands and arms up. And again, exhale, rounding, and then just find your own pacing, your own breath, if you will. And what I would offer is as you move through this, bring your attention into the pelvic floor, particularly as you roll over the back of the sits bones and onto like the coccyx and the sacrum. So that area in the subtle body is really specific. It's called, there's this thing called the Brahmadvara, the door of Brahm, the door of the divine. And then there's this thing called the Swayambhu Lingam, and it looks like this dark lingam that we have here in Shivalaya temple. And coiled around it 3.5 times is an effulgent light of Kundalini. Above that architecture is Muladhara chakra, but included right in that area is the very base of what's called Sushumna Nadi, Sushumna, the central body channel. Let's inhale one more time, reach to the top. And then just pause. And then big inhale, exhale, the hands and arms shoulder height here. Right palm turns up, left palm turns down. And then just twist the arms. And then what happens is when that area is, purified, a little more clear, and stimulated energetically, it produces a rising energy, if you will. It's really fantastic. It'll even pulse. It's strange, but it'll even pulse on its own. Let's swim the arms here. And so the yogis, it was interesting, they were more interested in the forward folds and the back bends, surprisingly enough. And inhale, float, hands and arms high, and then right arm under the left, so forearms, palms come together, so eagle arms here. And then stir the head. Oh, sure, that feels good on the neck and the upper shoulders. And the reason is that the forward folds would produce kind of a spacious quality in the pelvic floor versus the back bends. And they really wanted to awaken into the pelvic floor. So neutral here with the head, inhale, float, hands and arms wide. Then we switch this out, so left arm under the right. And I say that because a lot of times, some practitioners and things, there was such a vitality around back bends, and they're awesome, mind you. We'll stir the head again. But again, the yogis were like, okay, how do we awaken this serpent power? And one technique is to begin to work with the physical body in the location of origin. And again, that's, Swayambhu Lingam, if you will. Self-born is what that means. And then it's a neutral here, inhale, float, hands and arms wide. Exhale them behind you, interlace the fingers here. So now we'll get a sweet little kind of back bend, breathe very deeply, right? And this is where I want you to begin to process the bottom of the exhale. So don't be shy to extend the exhale a little bit, really bottom out the breath. Let's see what that's about. And you can even sustain some of your inner drishti, your inner awareness into the pelvic floor. It's potent, just saying. And then gently release the grip of the hands here, and then extend this right arm out, and then left palm turns up, inhale, float arm up, and exhale it over the head. And kind of ground that left knee, keep reaching through the fingertip to the left hand. Gaze can go up, and just keep reaching. So try and just think, I'm going to get some little more length in my side body that way. It's good, yeah. And then bend the elbow, draw the hand to the back of the head, and just slightly lift the chin. That'll open up the throat. And again, we're still being really aware of the extended breath. Give you a little bit of space today to explore the length of your breathing. Yeah. And then inhale, float on up. And then exhale, the hand and arm releases down, ground it. And then we switch this out. So right palm turns up, inhale, float, hand and arm up. Exhale it over, heart spins open, gaze to the hand. And just, again, breathe very deeply. One of the things that, in yoga in America, it's all about vinyasa yoga. And kind of what happens in that movement is we really don't discover our breath in the way that, if you will, it was meant to be discovered. A little bend in the elbow now, chin lifts. And it can test our patience, you're in a yoga pose and you're like, I want to move. But then you allow for a sense of presence to unfold, and that's just really magical. So inhale, float on up. We'll come out of it. Exhale, release the hand and arm down. So we'll come into a twist here. Palms turn up, inhale, sweep arms up, and then spiral to the right. Let this left hand release on the outside of that right knee, and then reinsert length in the spine. So sit nice and tall here. Breathe into the belly, and just feel your way through that. Oh, yeah. And then gently, we'll just soften here to neutral position. Switch this out. So palms turn up, sweep hands and arms up. Exhale, twisting now to the left. Reassert length in the spine. So sit tall. You can engage the muscles of the back. They'll extend the spine. Breathe into the belly. Oh, yeah. And what happens on a subtle level is we really bring some concentration into the breath, and then we're concentrating. And Babaji talked about that that's the practice, it's the result, it's the purpose. And you really begin to discover that. Big inhale, then exhale, soften to neutral position here. So we'll come off of this seated position here. Let's make our way to all fours. I'm going to kind of clear my mat a little bit. And then just begin to undulate the spine in cat-cow stretches. We know this is beetle asana in Sanskrit, just kind of undulating the spine and just feeling your way through the mobility of the spine. So just kind of breaking open the kind of the shell of the body, if you will. Sounds real sweet to move. And then as you're feeling your way through that, let's begin to just circle the hips. So a little circling of the hips, say clockwise. Just let this kind of open the body and let the elbows bend, the head and neck can move. Things be soft and supple. Yeah. Switch. directions. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then back into neutral position here. Extend the right leg behind you. Tuck the back toes under on the mat and just stretch the bottom of the foot, the calf and Achilles. A little length through the crown of the head. So a little extension that way. Yeah. And then gently release and switch to extend the left leg behind you, toes tucked under. On your way into that. Yeah. And then gently release here, and then walk the knees behind the plant of the hips one little step, and we'll meet in down dog. So Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Oh, yay. Yeah, take your time, little movement, it's fine, anything that way. Just breathe deeply. And so kind of what happens sometimes is we begin to move the body, and then all of our perception, our attention goes there, and it slips away, say from the breath. So we just rein that back in. Oh, yeah. Send the hips up and back. Yep. Up and back with the hips. As usual, I did neti this morning. I'm going to drain my head here a little bit. I always like to clear my sinus passages when I do my pranayama. Make sure everything's opened up. Yeah. And then gently we'll walk to the top of the mat here. So you'll join me in that forward fold. So feet to the hands here. Hips stack over the ankles. We find length through the inner thighs. Crown of the head is kind of extending towards the earth. You can grab opposite elbows here. That'll really support the extension of the spine. Yeah. Ooh, a little sway of the torso. With that, create some opening. And then half lift here. So Ardha Uttanasana, lengthen from tail to crown here. On your way into that, yeah. Then nice big inhale and exhale, lengthen out as you fold down. Yeah. And then belly button to the spine, and draw the head of the femur bones back by drawing the pubic bone back, right? And you can feel a broadening in the pelvic floor. And so that's where, again, the yogis are like, well, let's do these deeper forward folds to allow for the physical architecture that, partially supports the subtle body to open. So we're working with the serpent at the base of the spine. So flat back again here. So Ardha Uttanasana. Big inhale and exhale, lengthen out as you fold down. Yeah. Ooh, that's so good. And a little bend in the knees, and then just step back into high plank, high push-up. So we're pause here in the high plank, high push-up. Take a minute there. I always have a length in the stance where my shoulders are behind my wrists. And that just flattens out the angle of my wrists and just a little nicer for the wrists. Hips are lifting, and that'll wrap the transverse abdominis into the rib cage. So a little anatomical stuff is okay too, going into that. And then float the right leg hip height, right leg floats hip height. And then nice big inhale. And exhale, knee in the chest, give her a little squeeze in. Yeah, and then inhale, leg behind you. And exhale, knee to chest, squeeze it in. Yeah, and then inhale, leg behind you. One more time. Exhale, knee to chest, give her a little squeeze. And then inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, gently release it down. And then we switch. And just stay with it. Yeah, just let the body warm up here a little bit. Let, little strength, be pursued here. Nice big inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, squeeze. Inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, knee to chest. Squeeze. One more time. Inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, knee to chest. Squeeze. Then inhale, leg behind you. Exhale, release it down. Inhale the breath. And then exhale to the knees. And then all the way to the belly here. Bhujangasana Cobra pose. So ground feet, ground pelvis here. Use the muscles of the back. And then inhale, float on up. Shoulders pivot away from the ears. And we're just here. Just take a minute. Body kind of warm up for this. Then nice big inhale and exhale, float torso, forehead down. And again, inhale, float on up. Exhale, float down. And then 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, float down. And then inhale, come on up. And then toes under, lift the hips, down dog, because it really means some downward facing dog. Pedal that out for a moment. Breathe deep here. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So nice. And then a little bend the knees and step. Now the right foot to the right hand. Warrior one, pivot the back heel down. We'll just kind of start with this. So Virabhadrasana 1, Warrior 1. Take a minute here. Honor the width of your stance with the width of your hips. They're squaring off. Back leg quad can be firm. Really kind of pursue a grounding of the big toe mound of the back foot. And then the inner thighs, they kind of squeeze. And so there's this energy into the middle of the body. And that grounds below the navel. And then we reach and we can ascend. Oh, yeah, just take a minute there. Put a little pulse in this front leg knee. So a little bit of movement in the hip. We're just kind of going right into it here. Going into that. And then sink just a little lower. Yeah, and then a nice big inhale. And then exhale the hands behind you and interlace the fingers here. And we'll just stay here and take a few really deep breaths here. Allow for the form to go from form to formless. In other words, a sense of presence unfolding. Yeah. And then exhale the breath completely here. Then inhale, float hands and arms back up. And then exhale, sweep the hands now behind you and lean forward. So lean forward. Give the shoulders a little bit of a roll so they move away from the ears. The top chest is opening that way. Breathe very deeply. Yeah, let the breath really come to your aid here. Yeah, and then a nice big inhale. Next, I will just gently release the hands and plant, step back into high plank, high push-up here. Again, take a nice big inhale. And then exhale to knees, chest, chin. And so the hips stay lifted. It's called Ashtanga Prananasana. Yeah, knees, chest, chin. Feel your way into that. It can be a little tricky. And then inhale, pull forward, ground the pelvis, and come into cobra. Or if you want, upward facing dog. So engage the quads. The hips kind of ascend off of the earth that way. Heavy arm bones are drawing back. Yep. And then a nice big inhale. And exhale, lift the hips back into down. We're facing dog. Yeah, down, down, dog. Breathe deeply. Little bend in the knees. And then left foot steps. Left hand. Right heel pivots down. Warrior one. Again, come to standing. There's no hurries here. Take a minute to organize your body. Again, honor the width of your stance with the width of your hips. They're squaring around. Quad active, back leg, big toe mound, back foot. Inner thigh squeeze. Core is active. Feel into that. We're grounding and ascending. So just reaching real tall here. Yeah. Stay with the breath. Yep. Breathe and breathe in. And then a nice big inhale, exhale, float the hands behind you again. Interlace the fingers. Yeah. Let the heart space open. Core stays active, so you're breathing into the upper chest deeply and extending the exhalation. So staying kind of in the practice, always a practice within the practice, as we say, as I say. And then release the grip of the hands, float hands and arms up. So we reach here. And then exhale, sweep the hands now behind you, lean forward, give the shoulders a little bit of a roll away from the ears, turn the body kind of into an arrow, but then we pivot energetically into the back leg. So it's really sustainable versus all the weight dumping into this front quadricep. Yeah, and then a nice big inhale. Next, I'll gently release the hands here, plant, step back into high plank, take a nice big inhale. Exhale gently to the knees, all the way to the belly. Release the breath completely. Concentrate on the base of the spine when you do that. And then inhale, pull forward into upper facing dog. And then exhale, down dog. And again, concentrate on the base of the spine as you complete the exhalation. Oh yeah, and then a nice big inhale, and then we'll come into child's pose. So to the knees we go, hips to the heels. Just take a moment here and relax. Forehead to the earth, hands likely back to the ankles or so. Sustaining a sense of presence here, of course. So nice. And then just gently inhale to tabletop, tuck the back toes under, and exhale, lift the hips back into downward facing dog. Yeah. Back into down dog, and then gently from here, walk slowly the feet to the top of the mat, so forward fold. Pause there. Belly button to the spine, and then lift all 10 toes and just kind of feel how the body responds to that. Little stir the head. Yeah. And then inhale, half lift your hands back to the shins, like so. And then a little bend in the knees, and then just make an oval shape with the arms. We'll press all the way up to standing. So just press all the way up to standing. Arms reach over the head. I'm just going to turn to face you. And just put a little sway in the body. A little bit of movement here. And just find the kind of the edges of the body, any sensations that appear that way. So good. Oh yeah. And then from here, take a nice big inhale and exhale into Katasana. So a little bend in the knees here, chair pose. The weight is kind of drawing back, so pubic bone draws back. And his weight's kind of in the back 2/3 of the foot. If this is tough for your shoulders, you can always just lower the arms. If there's an impingement in what's called the supraspinatus muscles, what gets a little impinged in this form, or can, yeah. And then take a nice big inhale and exhale. We're going to work this just a little bit. Exhale, sink a little lower. Yeah, a little bounce in the knees here, a little bounce. Yeah. Then a nice big inhale and exhale, sweep the hands behind you. Yeah, just kind of feel into that. Ooh, yeah. So nice. And then inhale, sweep arms up, straighten legs, so come out of it. So big inhale, come out. And exhale, bend knees here. Oh, yeah. And then a nice big inhale. And exhale, sweep the hands behind you again. Really nice. And then inhale, sweep hands and arms up to come out of it. Straighten legs. And then exhale, bend the knees. Ooh, yeah. And then inhale and exhale, sweep hands and arms behind you. And then we'll come out of it again. So inhale, straighten legs, arms reach. And then step the feet together if they're not. So mine weren't. So step them together. Oh, yeah. Then a nice big inhale, exhale, sink into it again. Inhale the breathing. Exhale, sink lower, hands to prayer, and then twist to the right. So the left elbow is outside near thigh, sinking armpit to knee. This right shoulder draws away from the right ear. And just stay with the breath. Yeah, so this is where really releasing, if you will, the bottom of the exhale. And then some of you may want to take this deeper. Open your arms, so left hand earth, right hand to the stars. Feel your way into that. And a nice big inhale, and exhale, hand and arm down. And then inhale back into Utkatasana, chair pose. Yeah, a little bounce, and I know what's happening to your quads. I'm right here with you. And then a big inhale, exhale, hands to prayer. And then we'll twist now to the left. So right elbow now outside and near thigh, sinking armpit to knee. Really spin open, maybe deeper with right hand earth, left hand sky. You choose. Yeah, and then a nice big inhale. Exhale, hand down, look down, and then inhale back into Utkatasana. Oh, yeah. So nice, yeah. And then inhale, stand. That always feels good, really, to get out of that. And then exhale, swan dive, fold forward here. Inhale, half lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold bend knees, plant hands, step back into high plank up, push up. Inhale here. Exhale, 8 points, bowing, Ashtanga Pranayama. Awesome. Inhale, pull forward, cobra or up dog, and then exhale, lift the hips back into downward facing dog. Oh, yeah. Breathe deep. So now there's a little more pressure on the pulmonary circuit. And so really work the exhale here. And again, as you exhale, let your awareness be at the base of the spine, in between the coccyx and the sits bones. Now, serpent power. Now, a little bend in the knees, warrior one. Right side, right foot steps, right hand, left toe pivots down. Come to stand and reach hands and arms to the sky. And then take a nice big inhale here. Exhale, hands behind you, interlace fingers. Inhale, extend front spine, grow tall. Next, bow the torso on the inside of this right leg, hands and arms and such over the head. Just stay here, breathe, feel into that. And again, work the exhale. Oh, yeah. And then exhale, you're breathing completely. And then inhale, float all the way up and out of it. So warrior one, again, we reach up. And we'll go through a little vinyasa here. Exhale, float all the way out. Hands plant, step back into high plank, high push up. Inhale here. Exhale, 8 points. Ashtanga Pranayama. Inhale, pull forward, cobra, up dog. Again, yogi choice that way. Exhale, lift the hips. Down dog. Now a little bend in the knees, left foot steps, left hand, right heel, pivots down. Come to standing, warrior one. Exhale, hands behind you, interlace the fingers. Inhale, extend, front spine, grow tall. And exhale, bow torso on the inside of this. Now left leg, just stay here and breathe. Feel your way into that. Oh, yeah. And then exhale the breath completely. And then inhale, float up and out of it. So hands and arms reach to the sky. So we're here. And then exhale, float all the way out of it. Hands plant. Step back. High plank, high push up. Take a nice big inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin. 8 points. Ashtanga Pranayama. Inhale, pull forward, cobra. Or upward facing dog. And exhale, lift the hips. Downward facing dog. Breathe deep. Oh, yeah. And then warrior one again. So warrior one again, right side, right foot steps, right hand. Left heel pivots down. Hands and arms over the head. Oh, just as a transition though, just as a transition, because we're going to come into warrior three pose. So first release the back heel, point the heel to the sky and step the foot in. That squares the hip, that's essential. And then work the weight into this right leg. Even step forward a little bit and then just straighten the front leg, lift the back leg, and then body down, leg up. So Virabhadrasana 3, warrior 3. Stay with the breath. Really extend, lifted leg back. And then bring hands to prayer just for fun, hands to prayer. Pause here. And then hinging at the hips, a forward fold. So standing split here. Hands maybe stay at the heart or go to that right ankle or floor to catch a wobble. All is good either way. Feeling into that. And then careful bend in the standing leg knee. Warrior one, release the back foot down. Oh yeah. Inner float, hands and arms up. So reach. Then exhale, gently float all the way out of it. Hands plant, step back, high plank or push up. Inhale the breath. Exhale 8 points. Ashtanga Pranam. Inhale, pull forward, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, lift the hips. Oh yeah, down dog. Breathe deep. So good. Yeah. Ooh, a little bend in the knees, and then left foot steps. Left hand, right pull, pivots down. Warrior one, so other side. Getting ready here, pause. Reach it, and then release the back foot, heel points to the sky. Work the weight into now this left leg, and then just, lean forward, straighten this left leg, and lift the back leg, warrior three, body down, leg up. Go into that, really energize the lifted leg. And then hands to prayer at the heart. Pause here, and then standing splits. Breathing deeply. Hands maybe to the left ankle, the floor to catch a wobble. You choose. And then warrior one, little careful bend and stand leg knee. Release the back foot down. Float hands and arms to the sky. And we'll meet in downward facing dog. So a little flow here, hands release. Plant, step back, high plank. Big inhale. Exhale 8 points. Ashtanga Pranam. Pull forward, cobra. Up dog. Exhale, lift the hips. Oh yeah, downward facing dog. So nice. Yeah. So lift now the right leg hip height here. Pause there for a minute, and then take the leg higher. Then let the hip naturally spin open. Work the foot initially straight to the sky, and then bend the knee, and then just open up. Ground the left heel. Stay with me here. And then check this out. Inhale, straighten this right leg and float the foot on the outside of your mat. It looks like this to the right. And then just gently release the pelvis down. For some of you, this will be, a little different, a little challenging. And then just come onto the forearms. Just feeling your way into that. So we're just breathing into this inner groin area of the right leg. Heart is lifting here, so we're in a Sphinx pose, but this right leg out to the right, and just navigate that according to what your body will, allow. I know it can be a lot. Oh yeah. And then hands track under the shoulders. We ground, big inhale, and exhale, just slip back into downward facing dog. Yeah. And then float when you're ready. Now the left leg up, pause there. Hip height initially, and then take the leg higher, hip spins open, work the foot straight to the sky, and then bend that left knee, open up into that left hip. Oh yeah, hip flexor, and then inhale, sweep the leg over to the left as you then gently release the pelvis down. I'm gonna have to adjust my position here a little bit. And then we're onto the forearms again. And that inner groin is just getting some love. And it's interesting because then it's all this is, drawing into Brahmadwara, the door of Brahma in the pelvic floor. Swayambhulingam architecture, Kundalini, Muladhara chakra, all these subtle body images and, structures. Mukta Triveni is down there. That it means the meeting of the three rivers. That's the three subtle body channels. Sushumna Nadi, Ida Nadi, female left nostril, Pingala, male Nadi, right nostril is the top of that. And then let's just draw back into downward facing dog here. So knee back, down dog. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. And no, so from this position, take the feet the width of the mat wide, and then bend both of the knees, and then just sink the heart here. The hips are lifting, pubic bone is drawing back. So a little deeper position in the pelvis, a little, more spacious, if you will, in the pelvic floor. Same aperture, same architecture of working with the subtle body through the physical body. Partially we can do that, not fully. Yeah, and then release to the knees. Let the big toe mounds come together. The knees stay pretty wide here. We're coming into child's pose, but then just let the torso release deeply to the mat. You can come to the chin or one side of the face, whatever might feel good. Really deep form though, deep into the hips here. And just breathe into the belly. It's literally just make a balloon with the belly as you inhale, and that you'll find expands into the kidneys in the back body area. And that's just, that's just medicine, liquid medicine. So much so. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Okay, we'll meet back in downward facing dog. So inhale to tabletop. Exhale, hips lift down dog. Just as a transition, just for a moment here. And then pigeon pose. So float the right leg up, and then right knee, right hand. And then come onto the top of the back foot. We're going to work this just a little bit, though. We're not going to just drop right into it. So from here, we energetically draw this right hip back and the back leg forward energetically. And then that squeezes into the middle, and you can see I can just release my hands. And so I'm putting a lot of down energy. And then there's this ascending energy, and then float the hands and arms to the sky. Feel into that. Yeah, and a nice big inhale and exhale, float the hands now behind you, interlace the fingers so heart space is open. I keep squeezing into the middle. Breathe very deeply. You can kind of lean back, and so that's that kind of that big-chested pigeon, archetype. And then gently release the grip of the hands. Then from here, I'll float my hands, but then I'll send that left foot and left leg back, and that'll descend this right hip. And some of you may want to put a little support under this right hip, because that can be sensitive if the hips are still opening that way. And then before we bow into it, one more kind of back bend form. The chin tucks slightly here. That'll extend the spine. We can lift the chin, but that's shortening the spine. So let's just tuck the chin a little bit. And a big inhale, and exhale, lengthen out as you fold down. We come onto the hands first. I don't want us to droop in this. So let the elbows stack under the shoulders like so, and let that kind of carry the form versus drooping into it. I want us to lengthen up into it. And if you're feeling that you want more sensation in the hips, then isometrically draw the elbows towards the waist, and just kind of like pull your body forward again energetically. And that'll accomplish that, deepening into the hip. So you can see how much of our practice can orient around, the pelvic floor, the architecture of the physical body that supports Sukshma Sarira, the subtle body. Yeah. And then gently draw the hands back, tuck the back toes under, wiggle your way back out of this into three-legged dog. So float that right leg. I just need to release my hip and my knee a little bit. You can draw the leg up and even open the hip again. That can feel good. Little counter pose is how the yogis call that. And we'll switch. So float left leg, then left knee, left elbow. The foot can just go wherever it wants. There's all kinds of conversation around that, but just let it float where it's comfortable. But then top of the back foot, squeeze into the midline, and then there's all that down energy, and then we can float, and then reach up. Breathe very deeply here, so let heart space open. And then hands behind you, interlace the fingers. So again, just deep breathing, extending the exhales. That feels appropriate. Yeah. And then gently release the grip of the hands here. They ground, and then send now that right leg back. Let that left hip descend. Support can, again, be helpful. And then just draw the torso back once again, and then float forward. So the heart is leading. We come again onto the forearms. So we're not crunching into it. We stay length through the crown of the head. And again, if you want more sensation for that left hip, you just isometrically kind of draw the elbows towards the waist. And now accomplish that sensation. Yeah. Little opening for the hips for seated practice, and at the same time, more, more space in the physical body, pelvic floor. Oh, wonderful. And then gently, we'll just kind of pivot back out of this. So the hands track under the shoulders, and three-legged dog, open up, move a little bit, whatever feels good. Righto. And then we'll transition through child's pose. So release to the knees, hips to the heels. Pause there for a moment. Balasana, we know this is child's pose. Hands to the ankles, forehead to the earth. Breathe into the belly here. And again, that helps open up the back of the body. Yeah. Nice. And then gently inhale, come to a seated position. I'm just going to demo next couple poses. So come on up. And this is in a series of poses in this practice that Babaji gave us. It's in the Tantra Asana series. And in this practice, there's breath retentions, and I kind of put a little caution out there in the field where you may not necessarily need or want to hold your breath. It can really stimulate the energy, and that can be great, and it can also be sometimes, you go over the edge a little bit. And so what will happen is we'll begin in this position, and we'll just inhale and float the arms up. So again, I'm just demonstrating. So inhale, float the arms up, and the hips kind of draw forward, and then the chin lifts a little bit, and the concentration is right here in the throat in Vishuddha, right? But then as the arms float, kind of draw the shoulder blades onto and keep the core toned, and that supports the lumbar spine. So this is that sensation. The breath is held in. We're concentrating on the throat, and then exhale, and we come all the way down, and the hands come to the heels, and then we come into what's called Shashangasana, and that's rabbit pose. And so hands to the heels, and then we lift the hips, and here we concentrate right on the third eye chakra, as the breath is held out. And so it can be, pretty challenging. We'll do a couple of these, and just see how it goes. And so come to rest on your shins here. Exhale the breath. And then inhale, press on up, float the arms over the head, hold the breath in, lift the chin, take the core, concentrate on the throat. And then gently exhale all the way. Bring the hands to the heels. Rabbit pose, hips lift. Hold the breath out and concentrate on the third eye. And then inhale the breath. Come to seated. Exhale, catch breath. And then inhale, lever on up, float on up. Hold the breath in. Chin lifts, core tones. Concentrate on the throat. And then gently exhale all the way out. Rabbit pose, hands to the heels, hips lift, crown of the head to the earth, breath held out, concentrate on third eye. And then gently inhale back into a neutral seated position. Just take a minute with that, let that integrate. And then just a sweet little breathing practice here. From this position, we'll stay in this position. Inhale your breathing. Then exhale to release the chin down into the hollow of the throat. And then inhale, lift the chin. The eyes are closed here. And bring the energy all the way into the third eye. And the chin lifts all the way up. So almost like you're looking at the sky. And then exhale the chin back into the hollow of the throat. So just keep that rhythm going. Exhale, chin down. Inhale, chin up. And concentrate on third eye chakra. Really nice, friends. And just bring the head into a neutral position here. Let that kind of integrate. And then gently pause here. And then come to one hip or the other. We'll make our way onto our backs from this position. So just gently kind of spin around onto your back. Take a moment. And then we'll come into bridge pose, Setu Asana. So bend the knees, draw the feet flat to the earth here. And then gently, gently ground the feet. Inhale the hips up, kind of work the shoulder blades underneath you. Interlace the hands and concentrate in Muladhara chakra. So at the very base of the spine, it's almost as if the glutes, the gluteus maximus, gluteus medius are contracting a little bit. They're firmed up a little bit, and then kind of soften them. So soften the glutes partially and stay in concentration in that area of the body where, again, the sits bones and the coccyx are located. Keep ascending the hips, if you will. Breathe very deeply. And then a nice big inhale. Lift the hips on the exhale. Draw the arms over the head. Take a nice big inhale again. And then exhale, gently release the spine from the neck to the hips. Oh, when the hips land, then the heels can land. Nice extension in the spine. Make sure your arms are comfortable. Maybe even cactus arms, let the shoulders relax. We'll do one more of those. So let the arms go by your sides here. Ground the feet firmly. Inhale, lift the hips, work under the shoulder blades, interlace hands. Breathe deeply, again, concentrating on the pelvic floor Muladhara chakra. And just breathe here. And then lift the heels, arms over the head, inhale the breath. And then exhale, gently release the spine down, hips land, heels land. And then from here, let the knees drift open, soles of the feet together, Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring the left hand to the heart, the right hand to the belly. And just relax. And very, very gently here, squeeze the knees together. And then we'll come into Viparita Krani Mudra. We know this is reverse posture seal, so our inversion of choice. Placing a block or a cushion or a blanket under the hips, or bring your hands to your low backs. That's the version I'm going to do. Just going to kind of straighten my legs to the sky, rock up onto my upper back, and then squeeze my shoulder blades together, hands to the low back, and then release my hips into my hands. It's like a half shoulder stand, if you will. Viparita Krani Mudra. The gaze stays straight, so make sure that the gaze is straight. Really important. Hips releasing into the hands or onto your support. And just relax into it. And very gently here, we'll begin to come out of it, moving off the support or releasing the hips from the hands flow down, then gently releasing the torso and the hips down. Hug the knees into the chest, give them a little squeeze, rock side to side, little massage of the spine, one little twisting motion here. And then let the feet go flat to the earth, the width of the mat wide, and then just float the knees side to side in a twist. The gaze goes the opposite direction that the knees go to. Feeling your way through that. Spiraling action of the spine, kind of pulsating the cerebral spinal fluid through the body. And then extend the legs out long to neutral position. Our breathing that we do before Shavasana, breath retention. So exhale the breath completely. And then take a nice big inhale and hold the breath in and just wait on it. So inhale and hold the breath. And then very gently exhale the breath all the way. We'll do one more of those, but it's normal. I'll cue you to pooch out your belly as we hold the breath in. So exhale the breath completely. And then take a nice big inhale. Hold the breath in. Wait on it. And then pooch out the belly. And then gently exhale your breathing. So you can carry this right into Shavasana, if you like, right into corpse pose, or make any, adjustments for, comfort. Just feel your way into that as appropriate. With a few exhalations here, let the tissues of the body just continue to just essentially dissolve. So there's a sense of melting in the physical form, dissolving. Just allow for a noticing here, a sense of presence. So listening to the stillness, listening to stillness, feeling the silence. Just getting to breathe into the belly deeper. Gently make your way back to the body here. Adding a little bit of movement to the hands and feet. Feels good. And a little stretch of the arms over the head. Hugging the knees, coming to the left side. So in this waxing moon cycle. And then gently making your way all the way to a seated position. Okay. So we continue. The practices for our pranayama this morning are going to step right into a whole new realm of exploration, something that I haven't done with you guys ever. And so really pretty potent stuff. But we'll be using, though, the three locks in the practices that I'm going to guide for you. Mula Bandha, Jalandhara Bandha, and Uddiyana Bandha. Mula Bandha is the root lock. What we've learned is that's an engagement of the column, of the colon, if you will, up inside the body. So there's a access point through the anal sphincter area, and then just contracting that. Just reminding us of these practices. The second one, Jalandhara Bandha, the throat lock. The chin releases into the hollow of the throat, the sternum lifts, and then we find some pressure in the back of the throat to close the glottis. One technique that I use is I'll just kind of close my lips and turn the corners up on my mouth, and that'll close the back of the throat. And then Uddiyana Bandha, the navel lock, is done by the breath will be, when we get to that, the breath is held out, and then the belly button is drawn to the spine and then up under the rib cage. So those are the three locks. The practices that we'll do is called Mahamudra. So Mahamudra is the name of the practice. And I'll do a quick little demo. I'm going to stay on my seated support because that just is a little easier for my body to do. But the left heel, so this is my right leg. I'm going to extend my right leg out, and my left heel goes under the perineum. So I literally sit on my left heel, and that's why I keep my little cushion close by, because it's putting pressure on that area. It can be a little tricky for the knee. For the ladies, the heel goes on the back of the yoni, and the real estate in between, the little real estate in between that and the anus area. And so that's where for the guys, there's a little more, tissue down there, but that's where the heel goes. And then I'm going to take my peace fingers of the right hand and grab the big toe, but then the thumb is going to go to the top of the thumb and pull it back, and then the left hand will just wrap around, right? So that's the position. And then I'll inhale, grab Mula Bandha, and then grab Jalandhar Bandha, and then compress down, holding the breath in the entire time, and then lift the chin, exhale the breathing, and then draw this right foot in, come into a cross-legged position, and capture Uddiyana Bandha. So belly to the spine, up under the rib cage. And then we'll extend then the left leg, same thing here, boom. So under the perineum, peace fingers, wrap around the big toe, thumb on the top, right hand now wraps, and then the inhale, Mula Bandha, Jalandhar Bandha, compress the pranic energy, the breath is held in, then the chin lifts, exhale, draw now this left foot in, and then Uddiyana Bandha. And then the last practice is we'll do an inhale, hold the breath in, and then contract deeply Mula Bandha. So contract the anal sphincter area, deep, deep, deep rhythmic contractions. And that's the practice. We talk about contraindications in pranayama, and I certainly want to serve that here. The moon cycle, this is a contraindication because we're taking the downward flowing energy of Apan Pran and moving it up. And so when you're on your cycle, you want the flow to go. And so if that is your experience right now, just do deep yogic breathing or alternate nostril breathing, whatever your choice is. And then breath retention, heart issues, lung issues, any pressure for the eyes, retina, glaucoma. So just making sure we got the contraindications pegged. And we'll do 2 complete rounds of this. So one on this side, one on this side, middle, that's 1 round, and then 2 rounds. So we'll do this together. So draw the left heel under the perineum area, extend the right leg, capture the big toe, right hand, left hand covers, exhale the breath completely, and then inhale, Mula Bandha, Jalandhar Bandha, hold the breath in, compress the prawns, lift the chin and exhale, draw the right foot in, and then Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale here. Exhale, extend the left leg. Draw the right heel under the perineum. Capture the big toe. Inhale. Mula Bandha, Jalandhar Bandha. Compress the prawns. Lift the chin, exhale, Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale. Exhale, stay with me here. Inhale the breath, and then deep contractions of Mula Bandha. And then exhale the breath. That's 1 round. We'll do 1 more full complete round. Extend the right leg. Left heel under the perineum. Big toe, wrap. Exhale the breath, and then inhale. Mula Bandha, Jalandhar Bandha. Compress the prawns. Inhale, lift the chin, draw this right leg in. Uddiyana Bandha. Inhale, extend the left leg. Exhale, heel under the perineum. Grab left toe. Inhale, breath, mula. Jalnhar. Compress the prawns. Inhale the breath, draw this left leg in. Uddiyana Bandha, navel lock. Inhale. Exhale the breath. Inhale the breath. Hold it in deep contractions of Mula Bandha. And then gently exhale the breath when you're ready. If you haven't already, relax here and reestablish your seated position. Just feel the effects of the practice. Just awakening into the cosmic body here. Breathe into the belly, so allow for the nervous system to relax once again and become calm. And then gently let your awareness be guided once again to the pelvic floor. And then just imagine as you inhale that you can draw the energy of the earth from underneath the pelvis into the Brahmadwara, the door from. And the mantra here is hum saha, hum saha. So hum as you inhale and saha as you exhale. So hum saha. And very gently, we'll let this transform. So just release, if you will, a sense of trying, a sense of concentration on the pelvic floor. And just allow for a sense of presence, stillness, to kind of saturate your field of perception. And then just allow for just the light vibration of Om to be in the field and in a tone. Just Om in presence. Just allow your heart to return to your intention, to your sankalpa. And allow it to be filled with this vitality, if you will, of our heritage, of our relationship to the energy universe within and also without. And allow that to, in some small way or big way, refine the capabilities of our perception. And let's just meet in the heart space with hands joined, and we'll share one final mantra of Om together to complete our practice. So just exhale the breath here completely, and then take a nice big inhale. Thank you. Immense gratitude for your participation this morning and sharing your time in your practice. Namaste. Oh. So thank you, friends, for joining me, of course, and put a little shout out, in the comments things, any suggestions or any questions, on the practices. The mudra series that we did is actually a more smaller version of the mudra series that I do in this. You hear me talk about this Tantra sadhana from on occasion on a time to time. And so there's this thing called the Mahamudra series. And what we did today is just kind of a small portion of that series. It really invokes the serpent power, the kundalini power in things. Just a little reminder, a little Venmo love, Santosh Powell, that's always appreciated. And also, what's unfolding here at Shivalaya is the opportunity to do also day retreats. And I want to throw that out there to you guys, whereby we can figure out some things and such for practice, and how you may want to do that, where I literally guide a few hours even of practice and certain things. If you want to come up and get out of the city and spend the day, or even stay overnight in camp, different things. So reach out, let me know, because there's going to be more access to Shivalaya, to come and practice and stay and just commune in nature and really relate to the peace that exists here on the land. And so so thank you, and namaste, and love, peace. All right, thanks, guys. I'm gonna kind of navigate my way up to the screen. Brian, sweet that you're here. Yeah, you're welcome, Sarah, Maggie, all the goodness. All right, namaste.